People ask me all the time, so you're named after the beautiful words in Matthew chapter 5, but your life scripture is completely different. Why? Well, here's the thing. Sometimes when God speaks, you have to acknowledge and not pretend that you didn't hear him. One morning as I was in church that Sunday, we had a message delivered to us from the pastor that was completely unrelated to this podcast and this ministry, and I wasn't even thinking about it. But when he spoke these words from the Bible, from Hebrews, I knew that there's no way this could not be the life source and breath weaving into the foundation of this ministry, which says, therefore, since we are surrounded by such a huge crowd of witnesses to the life of faith, let us strip off every weight that slows us down, especially the sin that so easily trips us up, and let us run with the endurance that in the race that God has set before us. We do this by keeping our eyes on Jesus, the champion who initiates and perfects our faith. Because of the joy awaiting him, he endured the cross, disregarding its shame. Now he is seated in the place of honor beside God's throne. This was a big, big, big epiphany for me. I knew when I heard this verse, and I will admit it's one I never heard before in the lingo that was used. To think about the whole point of this ministry being to share my testimonies and my transparencies, my stories, details, limb by limb and year by year and moment by moment and depth by depth. I am doing something that is unheard of. Through sharing each trial and testimony, I am stripping that weight off because I am no longer giving it power in my life. I am continuing on in this race and I'm continuing down this path to make something happen in your life. It starts out with my story, but it's so much more than that. But the idea of every time I share it, a weight comes off was such a beautiful image for me that it's something I needed to have for those who listen to the podcast too. Absolutely. That is key. That is the goal. That is the mission. That is the mission walking to encourage your faith, right? To through tenacity. Tenacity is huge. It's strength and it's unwavering. So for me, the words of Hebrews 12, verse 1 and 2, put it all in a little bow. And it just totally rocked my world. Who wouldn't want to think of Jesus as our champion? Who wouldn't want to pay homage and ode to him enduring the cross for us and our shame? But oftentimes, I've learned that to take a step further in understanding, there are there's a theme of sins that are all related in our lives that continues to trip us up until we figure it out. Whether we think it's in the eyes of an addiction or it's the eyes of a behavior that keeps coming up, an attitude, a cycle of something, a word, a trigger, a need, a desperation, a feeling, a gratification, it's all the same. We just live in cycles of it. It may present itself different, but the idea is the same. So that's why I wanted to touch on that through this ministry.